Hey everybody, it's Marvin here. Today I want to talk to you about dependable consistencies, how to create simple and effective processes that will allow your business to scale. Before I do though, I want to look at some common problems that a lot of fast-growing companies face. Number one is that they're very people dependent. They've got a few key people who are really good at what they do. The entrepreneur, the founders usually are a little bit too busy doing what they have to do, so they delegate and allow these people to create their own systems. Problem is, these systems are not documented, they're not trained, and they're not passed on to other people, so that when these people leave, we almost have to start from zero again. The next common issue that's faced is that a lot of these companies also have inconsistent actions. The day-to-day actions on these key processes are not being done in the same way, so that the predictability of the results becomes much less because of it. And then ultimately, a lot of companies actually spend a lot of time fixing the same things over and over again. It's like the dog chasing its own tail. It's very tiring, time, energy, and resource consuming. And ultimately, these three things will combine to create a growth ceiling for your company, so that it doesn't allow you to grow further than you want it to, because you're being held back by constantly having to fix things, constantly having to recruit and train new people on how to do the processes, or even figuring out how to do things properly so that you can have predictable results. And so I'd love to hear from you, which one of these three things are you suffering from the most in your company right now? Okay. And if you've pinpointed the area, then we want to look at the opposite, which is the opportunity for you. These are the things that you could be looking for. Number one is that you want to move from a people-dependent business into a process-dependent business, so that you can create this consistency, and most importantly is you can pass it on to the next generation, so that your key people can move forward and go upwards in terms of responsibilities, new challenges, and then they can go on and do bigger and better things in your company or elsewhere. The next thing is to make sure that the correct actions are being done consistently in your business. There's a saying that practice makes perfect. Well, kind of don't believe in that 100%, in that practice actually makes permanent. Correct practice will create perfection. So let's make sure that your team is doing the right things on a day-to-day basis, so that they can get the results that you and they want to achieve. The third thing is that we want to, instead of chasing our own tail day in, day out, we want to build on our successes. We want to be able to move on from just being a firefighter and putting out the same fires, to actually layering on top of every single success that we have built. So once we figured out one thing and we can create a habit out of it, we want to move on to create another habit on top of it, so that we continuously increase our standards. And that, my friends, will give you the ability to create infinite growth in your company. There's 5 things I want to invite you to look at, so that you can actually create dependable consistency in your company. And the first one is to make sure that you document all your key processes. Just like in the kitchen, we want to make sure that we can hang on to mom's recipe or grandma's recipe, so that we can pass it on future generations. Well, the same in our business. We want to make sure that every single key actions that are being done are documented, so that we know how to replicate it going forward again. The second one is we want to make sure that there's a training component assigned to every single process in your company. And here's where we probably go back to a previous video that I recorded. There's 2 main types of training that we want to be looking at. Number one is training for awareness, to make sure that the people know exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And number 2 is training for mastery, because we want the people that are running the processes to become masters at running their process. That's not going to happen just by doing one training or 4 trainings a year. This has to happen much more frequently than that, to make sure that they get to that level of mastery. The third thing would be monitoring. Just like in the kitchen, we're going to need to stop and taste the food once in a while to make sure that it is up to the standard that we're expecting. The same thing in our company. How often? What's the frequency that you'll be monitoring? And how will you be monitoring the quality that is being produced on their day-to-day actions? Number 4 is that we want to review the process itself periodically. We want to make sure that the process is as efficient as we need it to be. And we want to look for opportunities too. Are there things that we can eliminate in our process? Are there things that we can automate in our process? And if we can't, are there things that we can simplify in our process so that we can maintain the desired quality that we want and to get faster speed and also lower cost? So hopefully that's the 5 things that will help you create the dependable consistency in your company. Hopefully you'll find something useful from that you can implement. I'd love to hear from you what's been the most useful for you so far. And if you'd like to get a copy of the tool that we use to guide our clients to create processes in their company, give us a note and we'll be in touch. Take care.